Welcome to a brand new episode of Law and Batting Order. I'm your host, Tony Iliakostas. Here are some quick hits from the past 2 weeks. March Madness is here, and the games in the first round alone have been more insane than Crazy Eddie's prices. The biggest upset thus far came on Friday as the 15th seeded Florida Gulf Coast Eagles pummeled the 2nd seed Georgetown Hoyas. This is the very first tournament appearance and first win for the Eagles. We also have to give props to Harvard as the Crimson upset the 3rd seed New Mexico Lobos. So with all these upsets, my bracket hasn't been totally busted as I still anticipate Indiana, Michigan, Gonzaga, and Louisville making it to the Final Four. Baseball fans are eagerly awaiting the start of the baseball season, and rightfully so. This MLB offseason has not only focused on teams making free agent splashes, but yet again, this offseason has been marred by more talks of steroids and performance-enhancing drugs. The latest headline this past week involved Major League Baseball suing Anthony Bosch's Miami Health Clinic for not turning over a list of players who have visited the clinic to purchase performance-enhancing drugs. The suit also harbors around the fact that the Miami Health Clinic knowingly administered PEDs to players in violation of their contracts. There is also speculation, according to ESPN's Outside the Lines, that Anthony Bosch and his associates have destroyed the Miami Health Clinic records. We'll keep our eyes peeled as to how this case pans out in the future. The Miami Heat are literally the hottest team in the NBA as they continue to impress the basketball world with their gameplay. As of this past Friday, the Heat have won 25 consecutive games. That is the longest win streak this season. The Heat are only 8 games away from breaking the longest winning streak in NBA history held by the 1971-1972 Los Angeles Lakers. It appears as though the Heat are unstoppable, and hopefully they can rewrite the NBA record books. Today's Order in the Court will be discussing copyright infringement in sports. If you're a college hoops fan, then you know it's all about March Madness during this time of year. With teams left and right going to the NCAA tournament, Nike released a series of ads featuring team logos for which they create their team jerseys. However, as Deadspin reported earlier this week, the ads which feature an individual basketball player isn't just any player, it's current Charlotte Bobcats player Michael Kidd-Gilchrist. In the ads, Nike used the original photo of Kidd-Gilchrist celebrating after winning the NCAA championship last season. All Kentucky logos on his jersey were deleted, and the logos of Ohio State University, University of Illinois, and other schools were superimposed on his body. You can see those photos by clicking the link below this video. Of course, there are many facts that we need to know. For example, who is the true copyright owner of the photograph? Does the NCAA have rights over this photo? If so, does Nike have permission to use it? What if the photo of Michael Kidd-Gilchrist belonged to a freelance photographer? Does Nike have a right to use this photo in that situation? We'll examine all these factors in today's episode and discuss if a legitimate claim of copyright infringement exists against Nike. Before I continue, I want to make a disclaimer that aside from the fact that Michael Kidd-Gilchrist's photo was used, all other facts that I will be using in this episode are absolutely fictional and are only being used to illustrate the principle of copyright infringement. This is because Law and Batting Order is committed to reporting on legal issues in their relationship to sports. Title 17 of the U.S. Code Section 102 lays out the definition of copyright, which is an original work of authorship fixed in any tangible medium of expression, now known or later developed, from which they can be perceived, reproduced, or otherwise communicated, either directly or with the aid of a machine or device. Section 102 goes on to list the categories of copyright, which includes literary works, musical works, dramatic works, and pictorial works. In this case, the photograph of Michael Kidd-Gilchrist is copyrighted because it's a pictorial work that has been fixed or published online in a newspaper or some other medium of expression. A copyright owner is usually the person who creates the work. In this case, the photographer who took the photo of Michael Kidd-Gilchrist screaming is the true copyright owner. However, it is very likely that the photographer took the photo while he was an employee for a newspaper, the NCAA, or some other entity. If this is the case, then it is very likely that he shares copyright ownership of the photo, or there may even be the possibility that the ownership has been stripped from him. Let's assume that the NCAA has copyright ownership of Michael Kidd-Gilchrist's photo. What if, hypothetically speaking, Nike took the photo, never asked the NCAA for permission, and used the photo for its own benefit in promoting Nike's support of teams competing in this year's NCAA tournament? If such a situation occurs, then we undoubtedly have a situation of primary copyright infringement. When a case of primary copyright infringement arises, there are 3 factors to be considered. First, has an exclusive right been infringed? Second, is the copyrighted material accessible? Third, is the original work substantially similar to the new work that was misappropriated? To address the first factor, 17 U.S.C. 106 lists the rights that copyright owners have in the case that their work has been infringed. One of the exclusive rights is found in subsection 2, in which only the copyright owner has the right and authority to prepare derivative works of his copyrighted work. In this case, Nike didn't use the Michael Kidd-Gilchrist photo bit for bit. Rather, they simply photoshopped over his Kentucky jersey with the logos of other schools that Nike sponsors. But their work derived from the one photo of Michael Kidd-Gilchrist, and if the NCAA, as the copyright owner of this photo, did not authorize Nike to edit this photo, Nike may be in breach of this right. Addressing the second factor, this photo is certainly accessible, as it is very likely that the photo hit the mainstream media. We live in the digital age, so even a 5-year-old could find this photo with a simple Google search. Thus, the second factor of primary infringement is satisfied. Finally, there is no doubt that the original photo and the edited photo Nike used are substantially similar. Aside from using different school colors and displaying different team logos, all of Nike's ads portray the same pose that Michael Kidd-Gilchrist is in from the first photo. In the Nike ads, Michael Kidd-Gilchrist is screaming with his arms clenching in victory and his head pointed to the sky. This is the essence of the original photo. Based on these facts, primary infringement exists. However, this illustration of copyright infringement all took place in hypothetical land. We know that Nike would not conduct business in this manner. Nike makes millions of dollars every year and the company wants clean hands. Therefore, it is absolutely likely that Nike contacted the copyright owner of the photograph, most likely the NCAA, and requested permission to use Michael Kidd-Gilchrist's photo in an effort to promote March Madness. However, this case has numerous antitrust implications, especially in light of O'Bannon versus NCAA litigation that is currently pending. In the next episode of Law and Batting Order, I'll break down how O'Bannon applies in this case. However, the example of Nike's March Madness ads and Michael Kidd-Gilchrist's photo was merely used as a fictitious example to demonstrate copyright infringement and how it applies in sports. That's the show. Leave all your comments down below and be sure to visit Law and Batting Order at lawandbattingorder.com as well as on Facebook and Twitter. Take care, guys.